And now we're continuing on with the Rada Marathon, and as we're taking a look at an archetype he reviewed as an April Fool's joke, and that is the Sparrow family archetype used by Fuya Okudaira. And this archetype is known as the Robin family in the OCG, just like the show from which they originate from in the anime is called. So I can only guess that the Sparrow family has been changed due to the intervention of the slimy and icky dub. So yeah. Anyway, this set of cards, I did not know of its status when Rada reviewed it, but when I looked out on the wiki, it is treated as an archetype, and it even has some cards listed which Rada did not mention in the video at all. So maybe Rada's video actually made these guys an official archetype or whatever. But anyway, they're eligible for this show, and I shall review them as such. So let's start off with their first monster, Triple Star TRION. This is a level 1 light warrior with 100 attack and defense, and during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn as a tribute for a successful tribute summon, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. Okay, so keep in mind, this is a Zexal era archetype, yet this effect is something that was relevant at most in the meta of 2002 and even before that. So to say that this card is beyond horrible is the understatement of the century, and we should just probably move on to their next cards in the archetype. Mostly monsters, of course, of which is the first one, Beast Warrior PUMA. This is a light Beast Warrior with 1600 attack and 1000 defense, and you contribute this card to add one ESPER Star Sparrow from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Okay, so this is unsurprisingly or surprisingly, whatever you prefer, the only archetype source of consistency. A level 4 that tributes itself to search a very specific monster, although I will give it credit that it searches him from the graveyard as well. But we'll get to that. Yeah, this is the last non-tribute monster of the archetype, so yeah, this is A-tier effort so far that the archetype has put into its design philosophy. Anyway, next up we have Phoenix Beast GAIRUDA, which is a wind level 6 with 2500 attack and 1200 defense. And if this card attacks an opponent's monster, this card gains 300 attack during the damage step only. Well, it's certainly better than Guard Hulk, I'll give it that, but yeah, this is a level 6 that can rise up to an okayish 2800 attack, which is alright for a level 6 monster, beyond alright I would say. But it's literally the only thing it does. It's a level 6 in an archetype that does not have any consistent tribute fodder, so not worth it. Next up we have their level 8 monster, IRONHAMMER the Giant, which, oh, get a load of this. If you control ESPER Star Sparrow, Beast Warrior PUMA, and Phoenix Beast GAIRUDA, yes, all three of them, you can special summon this card from your hand. While this card is face up on the field, it cannot change its battle position. Once per turn, you can target one monster you control. It can attack your opponent directly this turn. Okay, so I'll give it credit. This thing has an impressive 3500 defense, although I would wish it if the attack value is this poor. I would have really liked if it had like 400 less attack so it can be a machine dupe target. Oh wait, it's a rock monster. I did not notice that this was a rock monster. Oh man, oh man, oh man. But anyway, the special summoning condition is beyond asinine. You need to control three monsters on the field, 3 very specific monsters, 2 of which are tribute monsters, and 1 of which requires 2 tributes in order to be brought out. And the special summoning conditions of those monsters are practically non-existent. So yeah, the only usage I can think of this thing is that it's target for trade-in, and that's about it. God damn it, I cannot believe that this is a rock. I always thought this was a machine monster for some reason, and I thought that if it had 400 less attack, then it could be a machine dupe target, and I just noticed it's a rock monster. Oh man, the bad stuff just don't stop, right? Anyway, DDS per Star Sparrow has been mentioned quite a lot, so let's take a look at them, shall we? This is a level 10 light warrior with 3000 attack and 1500 defense. You can only control one of them. Alright, there can only be one on the field, not you can only control one of them. That means if your opponent for some reason summons him, you cannot summon him as well. So mirror match, first world mirror match problems right there. Anyway, your opponent cannot target other monsters you control with card effects or attacks. And when an opponent's monster declares a direct attack while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your graveyard in face-up defense position, and if summoned this way, you banish it when it leaves the field. Okay, so there's quite a lot to take in here. Okay, so it has a generic attack and card effect prevention, so if you manage to bring out two of them for in some form of fashion, your opponent literally cannot target stuff with card effects or attack, which is mighty impressive since we're talking about Sparrow family of all things. And the special summoning condition is okay, it's there, it exists, it's basically a battle fader of the graveyard, but it's really not worth it unless you manage to protect it with something so it doesn't leave the field, because this little shit just gets banished when it leaves the field, which is not something you want for your Sparrow family in order to actually make some relevant plays. So yeah, the Archetype does not even have a draw engine which allows you to like discard level 10 monsters or monsters from of levels 10, 8, 6 or 4, like monsters which levels differ by 2 in order to get some draw effects or any kind of benefits, so Star Sparrow can hit the graveyard for this condition to actually fruition. And if you actually do manage to summon him from the graveyard, it has 1500 defense, which basically anything can actually run over it, so it's beyond worthless. Anyway, their final main deck monster is the ever so beloved DD Jet Iron. This is a level 10 machine with 4000 attack and 0 defense, and it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must first be special summoned from your hand by sending one DDS per Star Sparrow, Beast Warrior PUMA, Phoenix Beast GAIRUDA, and IRONHAMMER the Giant from your hand and or face up from the field, from your side of the field to the graveyard. And you contribute all of the above monsters to special. You can contribute summon this. You contribute this card to special summon all of the above monsters back to the field. And yeah, this is basically the Zexalera equivalent of Valkyrion the Magna Warrior with higher stats. Well, at least in the attack position department, and nothing else. You basically. If you open up with all 5 of these in your hand, you basically can summon every single member of the Sparrow family onto the field, and it's not worth much, because there's only one other monster that benefits from this that resides in the extra deck, and we'll get to that. But yeah, this is beyond unacceptable for a card released in the Zexalera. And now we move on to their extra deck. First of which we have MIRA the Starbreaker. It requires 3 level 1 monsters, has 1100 attack and 1000 defense, and if this face-up card would be destroyed, you can detach an Xyz material instead, and level 4 or lower monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. Okay, so this is essentially an Xyz version of Orichalcos Shuneros, but it's actually better than Orichalcos Shuneros since he protects level 4 or lower monsters, and the Orshuneros protected level 4 normal monsters. This one has a larger monster pool, and it protects itself from any kind of destruction by detaching an Xyz material. So yeah, for as far as level 1 monsters, this is actually a pretty decent card, and it requires 3 level 1 monsters, which the Archetype does not have any access to besides triple star TRION, which is not worth running. So you're basically forced to play this in other monsters which can sufficiently spew out level 1 monsters. I actually see this thing a lot present in Ghost Tricks nowadays because of how nice this effect synergizes with them. Basically, it can protect itself by detaching an Xyz material, also setting up the Ghost Tricks graveyard, and not to mention all of the Ghost Tricks are level 3 or lower, so the protection works on them as well. So yeah, this thing is very good, but not as a Star Sparrow family card. So yeah, run it in Ghost Tricks. Ignore it here at most. And next up we have their other rank 1, number 83 Galaxy Queen. This is a rank 1 spellcaster which also requires 3 level 1 monsters, has 500 attack and defense, and once per turn you can detach an Xyz material from this card until the opponent's next end phase. The monsters you currently control cannot be destroyed by battle, and if they attack a defense possession monster, inflict piercing damage to your opponent. Okay, so as far as number monsters go, this was one of the earliest monsters ever introduced into the game. So I don't think the effect was considered that bad when it first came out, but all it does is provide you battle protection and piercing damage. However, it works on any monster you control, and not only archetypal monsters, so I gotta give it that much of a plus. So I guess if you're playing this in a deck which can actually spew out some level 1 monsters on the side and is focused on massive beatdown, I guess this couldn't hurt. But I wish it was a little better, because that artwork is absolutely magnificent. And now we move on to their final monster, Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer. This is a rank 10 monster with 5000 attack and 2000 defense, and requires 3 level 10 monsters. Okay, I'm starting to notice the theming of this archetype requiring 3 monsters for their Xyz monsters. And once per turn, you can detach a material from this card to destroy all spell and traps your opponent controls, and your opponent cannot activate spells or traps in response to this card effect's activation. So yeah, Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer is a pretty ridiculous card, no questions about it. 5000 to base attack, a Harpy's Feather Duster effect with the Armade's Shutdown when it's activated. The only problem being that it requires 3 level 10 monsters in order to bring out. And yeah, just to mention this point, even rank 10 trains have some difficulties summoning this thing, so yeah, summoning this thing in the Sparrow family archetype is a monumental task at least. So if you have the utmost certainty you can actually bring this thing out in this deck consistently, then go right ahead. The archetype even does have a card which actually helps out with running this thing, and that is their final card, which is the normal spell Galaxy Queen's Light, which allows you to target a level 7 or higher monster you control, and the levels of all other face-up monsters you currently control become the current level of that monster until the end phase. So essentially what you're supposed to do with this, you're supposed to target either DD ESPER Star Sparrow or DD Jet Iron, and basically turn all of your monsters into level 10 monsters, and then go overlay into Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer. And yeah, that's pretty much the only use of this card in this archetype, summoning a very specific monster, which by all accounts is actually very good, so you might as well treat yourself to at least 2 of these. And grades. 1 out of 3, all of the grades. Even with the existence of Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer, which is actually a pretty common staple in rank 10 trains, it's still the archetype it originates from is the one that least benefits from using it. So yeah, grades are a definite 1 out of 3 here, because this is one of the worst archetypes of this era, of the Zexal era. So yeah, it's funny how a card lineup like this even got the green light to be printed in the real life. These really should have been left off as anime exclusives. Like Rada said, we might have gotten some some Fortune Lady support a bit earlier if it wasn't for these bunch of cards. And yeah, I'm still waiting for that Fortune Lady support. Premium Pack 2021. Please don't let me down. Selection 10, if you can hear me, please include at least one support card. Lightning Overdrive, I know you're out there, please. Okay, I'm skimming off topic, so let's just end off this video here. So, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, works, and updates. Comment, like, and subscribe. Be sure to check out my Patreon when you got the time, and we drop a few donations if you feel like it. And as usual, I'll upload the next video whenever I can. And next time, we'll be going back to the GX era, everyone's favorite in terms of horrendous archetype design. Anyway, see you all and have a good day. Peace.